this one I thought would be a breeze and would just sort of come to me in the moment. And it turned out it was actually kind of not difficult, but it was kind of embarrassing. Uh, so let's get into it. The topics are not that one, bottom left. There we go. Inktober side of things, we are on the 12th. Remote. There's a couple things we could do here. And then there is Creeptober. So we've got remote and Creeptober ads. Goth. Don't know what to do about that, Chief. All right, so this is what I cobbled together. All right, so to start off, there were two ideas that immediately jumped to my head, and the first one was remote as in distance. So I would have one troublemaker talk to the other troublemaker through a television and for some reason be dressed up as a goth. This currently on the screen is my attempt at a robot with a controller, and we'll get to that. Because I was also thinking remote control, so remote control a goth robot, but I forgot that emo does not necessarily equal goth. So I scrapped that idea because I was just going to have some black hair folded over to one side and just have all this dark sort of makeup. And then I Googled some images of what actual goth fashion is. And this is why it's more embarrassing than difficult, is because as far as males go, Gothic is more in the clothing itself than it is in like the facial makeup and stuff like that. Whereas on the female side of things, it is like contrasts. You know, you've got the blacks and the whites, and then sometimes I see like a maroon in there or like a really dark red. So I tried to do some sort of like Japanese sort of like kitsune makeup sort of thing here, but that didn't really work out. So I tried to go back to my previous file. Turns out I didn't save the texture file, which is going to be good later on because I'm never going to use this makeup style again, even though I think it actually does look kind of cool. But as far as the Promptober thing goes, yeah, he's going to be a red fox for probably the entire rest of the whole thing. So the goth makeup's not going to be useful if I save it. Then it just came down to sort of like positioning. And I think now that I've spent some mental effort into lighting, I think I'm starting to lose sight of what positioning is. So it's a kind of a mental trade-off. Because I thought I had the angle correct in my head. Like it looked like an interesting angle, but it turns out that when you have big Muppet hands, big Muppet Bappers, it's really easy to obscure anything, even when you have it like clenched in a fist or in a pointer finger sort of thing. So if that's in the forefront, you know, if that's in front of the camera, whatever's behind your big Bapper, it's not going to be seen very well because you can only really have one Muppet hand in front of the camera at once. But yeah, so this is me reverting back to the TV idea. Because I don't know. Eventually, everything just sort of clicked together, and I was like, I could do this a lot faster, with a more closer attempt to what goth is, even though I don't think that this is goth. But I also don't really follow the fashion, so it's kind of my bad. But yeah, so here's what I mean, where it's like I could have one hand doing something, but it obscures whatever's happening behind it. And so later on, I mess with just scaling down stuff and just making stuff different. And I hope that that kind of comes across more as like instruction. And so these are the two results. Version 1, version 2. It's tomorrow, however, that's got me really scared because it looks a little something like this.